Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is that time. It is that time. It is that sweet, sweet time. The moment we've all been waiting for. The brand new trading day. And to bless us and to greet us into this amazing morning, we have a couple of hot, beautiful stocks. A couple of hot stocks moving up. It would seem that this rate hike decision is going to positively influence the small cap markets. This is exactly what we love to see. And so hopefully we can continue to see high gapping stocks over the next few weeks. It is an election year, so I'd expect more volatility, into the later part of the year. So hopefully we get some sweet action here. So time to write up the watch list. Remember, for those of you tuning in on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up, and remember our disclaimer. All right, remember that day trading is of course a risky business. Remember that it is not easy, and that if you're new, it is best to use risk money. It is best to utilize the simulators. It is best to utilize small size. That way your tuition to the market is low as you're learning, as you're building experience and becoming competent. Do not be very aggressive in the beginning when you have the least amount of experience. That's what a lot of traders fall victim to, including myself in the beginning. You got to take it slow. And then once you start hitting your marks, you put a little bit more risk behind the trades, all right? Other than that, remember, live stream and recaps are never a reason to copy trade. It takes months, more commonly years. Other than that, be careful of fake accounts. Relentless trader is a very busy man and will never message you first randomly for no good reason, all right? So be careful of those fake accounts out there on all platforms. Now, with that being said, we do have quite the onslaught today in terms of watch list stocks. Let's write it up. So let's see. There's ACHL. There's TBIO. And there's RZLV. There's XCUR. I believe there might be one more. ZEO. There are more stocks, by the way. There are some cheaper stocks that are also up. But these are the four that I'm choosing to watch. There's honestly maybe 8 stocks that are up a decent amount. Pastor is ready. Good morning to all the traders tuning in. Like Ryan, Robin. How you guys doing? Brad, what's up? Hope you guys are feeling good. The Earth Explorer checking in as well. So let's see here. Which one do I want to start with? Also, which one is looking the most obvious to be the stock? It's a little hard to say, right? It's always a little tricky. All right, I'll start with TBIO. I mean, that one is kind of, I believe, leading the way here. TBIO, which is up 200% with 16 million shares of volume. Absolutely impressive. So we're clocking in at 490 for pre-market highs. 490. And this one started today pre-market. So, some of the other ones did start yesterday. Let's see here. The low of the current pullback has been 350. And we're right now around $4, 405, right above the VWAP. So not bad. Can we continue to hold the VWAP level and trend higher coming into the open for those pre-market highs? You guys know I like to trade the stocks that are uptrending, that front side move that's uptrending. A lot of days what will sometimes happen in a stronger market is that we get the first upside move, the stock will go sideways, maybe even trend down a little bit, and then we get a second move, sometimes even a third move, and some traders will refer to this as a first leg, second leg, third leg. But usually if we're seeing all of that, like the stocks we had yesterday and the day before, we get a tremendous opportunity And, from that point on, it's up to us to be disciplined and capitalize. 773 for the 200 EMA. For those of you that saw the recap yesterday, we mentioned how we could have avoided some of the losses. It's so crazy when you go back in hindsight, man. The area that I bought so aggressively was such a poor trade. Such a poor trade. In the moment, it's hard to see, but that's why we study. That's why we review, so that, things can make sense after the fact, right? Because if you just move forward, then you just think, hey, big loss, whatever. But now you know how to move correctly for the next time. And so today I'm looking forward to some nice barbecue chicken here, man. For those of you who are familiar with Shaq on TNT, let's see what TBIO has to offer. Right, as mentioned, the 200 EMA is at 773 on the daily chart. That definitely is going to be my target if this one here is strong. Can we get up to those levels? RZLV. Moving on, RZLV. This one is up 76%. Currently with 1.7 million shares of volume, and we had a high point of 27.29. So coming into the open, I'm thinking it could be a little bit more tricky in terms of volume, because the volume is light right now. So I just have about 700 shares, nothing crazy. We did drop, we're still at $8, so it's not that pricey right now. But I have about 700 shares, small size, just to make sure that the volume is present. I don't want to get any sort of big losses, right? Another big lesson from yesterday for me is to be careful to not have so much risk in one trade that it wipes out the entire day. And, that is a little tricky for me at times, because some trades I want to size up, but it has to be in an area that makes more sense than what happened right last time. So some key lessons there to apply into today's trading. We got 725 for the low of the pullback here. VWAP is up there at 11. We'll see how this does coming into the open. In terms of the daily chart, let's check it out. RZLV. Seems like it was a recent IPO, unless the name had changed, but going back to, was that about August 16th? So over 1230 again, perhaps. We can see a retest of that pre-market high. We'll see how it does. RZLV. Again, up 70% with 1.8 million shares of volume. Moving on. XCUR. This one is up 148%. I mean, a few months ago, I think it was just a 3-day period, we had stocks that are up just 30%. Typically, we're seeing moves between 40 and like 80%. And even then, it's like, a lot of the times, decent days. So when the stocks are this exaggerated, it definitely lets us know that there's a bit of a frenzy going on, right? There's a lot of buying in the market right now. Interest rates going down. People, money coming in is what it's really saying to me. Money is coming in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be easier. There can be more volatility, more range, bigger flushes, bigger pullbacks. So we still have to be disciplined. We still have to manage risks. We still have to position ourselves as best as we can. If not, we'll just see bigger red days than usual on days like this, right? So the challenge is still, ahead of us. But we know what it is. Let's see. Pre-market highs at 902 for XCUR. Low of the pullback, 548. So a lot of these stocks had bigger moves earlier and is now trending down a little bit. So I'll be looking for the red to green on all of them, really. Let's see how the daily chart is looking here. Do we have any resistance in sight? Let me check it on E-Trade. I mean, perhaps 690 could be an area. We had a bit of a double top going back a couple weeks ago. 6.9. Blue trend line. This is, let's see. May 9th. What is my Thinkorswim chart saying? My chart seems to have different levels. I'm guessing one, and Thinkorswim usually the daily chart takes longer to update. So I'll go with E-Trade. Yeah, I'll put 690. That's fine. We'll see how this does. XCUR curling up, started in after hours. So far sideways today. Can we get that continued move? Can we get that continued move? And so if we get anything, like this, right? Even if it goes sideways and down first, but then starts to give that incline, retest the after hour highs, and then keeps going, pulls back, perhaps keeps going. That's what we want to see here. Short sellers, of course, they might want it to go down, and they all will go down at some point. It's just a matter of when, right? I've never seen one of these small cap stocks. Maybe let me see. SAVA, was it SAVA, Sava? This is probably one of the only ones that I remember like as a small cap stock, and it's at $30 right now. This I remember, seeing this at like $4, and it did go all the way to like 140. This is probably one of the only ones I can remember, and I don't even know if this was truly a small cap just to begin with. It might not have even been a small cap, so I don't even know if there's a small cap stock that sustained its move and just continued trending up into like a mid cap blue chip stock. It's so rare. So usually they all come down. It's just a matter of when, and it makes it incredibly difficult to swing stocks overnight that do give these big moves. You might think, hey, this will go from 6 to maybe 10. You come before the day is even done, it's back at $4. So it's kind of tricky. But there are some swing traders out there getting it done, man. So ZEO, moving on to ZEO. ZEO. Today I'm gonna have to do fast rotations. ZEO up 143% with 7 million shares of volume. Currently at 278. Let's see. Highs again, 679. Low of the pullback, 264. 200 EMA on the dailies at 436. My nose is so stuffy. My goodness. And there is a significant candle on the daily chart going back to March 15th at 890. I feel good today though, coming into the market open, I'm here early, I'm doing my routine. I don't feel anxious. I used to feel anxious at some point. It used to be like excitement, but I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel nervous. I don't feel any of that. It's been so many days of doing it, and I understand what needs to be done. It doesn't mean that it'll be easy, because it's never easy. But if I come here, and I am here, put forth my best trading, be disciplined, be quick, remind myself of the improvements and adjustments that I need to make from yesterday, read over my bullet points, and apply the knowledge, apply the information, and also be willing to read the market that's in front of me. Even going back to yesterday again, I said before the big loss, I said, my brain is going a little haywire because the stock is in a place where it should be going and it's not. Well, there's your indicator right there, right? It doesn't have to be complex. It's doing something that you're not used to it doing. Hey, be on the defensive. Be careful. Size down. Manage risk. Right? So we can't get caught up into, wanting to fly so high that we're sacrificing, and doing things we're not supposed to do. So staying cool, calm, collected here, and remembering to turn on my screen recording, which the alarm did go off. And here's a 2-minute warning. So guys, make sure your screen recording is turned on. And now that we've mapped out all of our stocks here coming into the open, I'm going to double check, make sure my share size is set. And again, in terms of some of my bullet points, I got to pace myself throughout the day. Remember longevity. Be careful of taking so much risk on one trade that it could wipe me out for the day. That should never happen. Got to be careful and not get too confident and have too much conviction in any one play, but always be mindful that there is the risk aspect, right? If it makes sense, I want to size up early and be aggressive. I want to be patient for my dips, let them bottom out, and if I can capture the dip properly, I do want to give it that time to bounce back properly for a fair target for my expectation versus the move down. If breakouts are really strong today, I do want to give them that extra second to have some more capitulation, right? Some more follow through. Other than that, I do want to pay attention coming into the open here. I think I'll watch TBIO perhaps. So I'll watch that coming into the open. If a stock is not worth it for me, I want to leave it alone and move on. In a day like today, quick rotations is going to be key. So I got to move forward and onwards. If something is having trouble, it's just on to the next. So let's trade to the best of our abilities here. Let's be disciplined. Hit that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up. And let's get ready to rock and roll. Another beautiful day at long last. So TBIO, let's see how it does. Trying a few price action trades. We got RZLV potentially halting up here early. It's not quite pushing through that high point. My level 2 is lagging on RZLV. There's a break of 30. Oh, wow. Okay, okay. It's hard to get the good fills here, though, it would seem. TBIO. It's a nice move so far. We got a high point of 62. So what I'm going to try to do is see if I can't get some solid entries here and perhaps give it a little bit more time. RZLV halting down, sadly, after pushing up. TBIO, bit of a slow grind up here is what we're seeing. We didn't really get a pullback besides that small dip, maybe from 60 to 48. The halt up is at 27 if it keeps going. Didn't really handle that trade as good as I could have. The high of the candle is 94. Will we make a new high? Well, it would seems not. I took off maybe a little too much of that right there. Perhaps could have bought twice. TBIO. So far, so good. But the breakout up there around 90 might be tricky. But we'll see if it is able to come up over time. The candlestick is about to close. I'm gonna cut flat. We might see a bigger pullback coming into the new candlestick. And way to go for RZLV, man. Way to go. That curled back up nicely. I probably should have held that. Yeah. Oh, I should have held. False breakout, though. Time to move on. Well, actually, maybe not. The 5-minute setup still looks good. 5-minute setup looks good. ZEO also moving up. So it maybe just comes down to preference at this point. Ah, I'm gonna try to get in one more time lower. If it doesn't hold up here, then that's it. Alright, okay. Alright. Alright, fine. Whatever. The 5-minute setup is not working. Would have wanted to see some sort of consolidation here. And then eventually like a bounce back. Fair trades. It's always risky. This one doesn't seem like it's giving the 5-minute setup. And if it happens at VWAP here, it's just so low. So let me do a rotation here. ACHL, RZLV, RZLV. Maybe a stock to watch. CEO. I'm gonna get stopped out. I'm gonna get stopped out of RZLV trying on the dip. ZEO though, ZEO moving. Maybe I watch ZEO. We got RZLV halting down. Oh, Titanicing. Bigger pullback here. More? Oh, come on. If this comes down below this, then I mean, jeez, then it's just brutal. Oh, what the hell, bro? What the heck? These dips are not bouncing in great areas. Come on. ZEO to the bottom of the 7Cs. 5-minute chart is looking strong, but the pullbacks are not holding up, which is usually not the case. They're very exaggerated. So we could see a bounce, but it's coming very low. Maybe it comes here at like 90. Do I want to try it again? Still waiting to find a strong stock. Let's see here. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up if you're tuning in. If you're tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. GLMD. First daily candle would be at 11:12 to make the new high. Is this one worth looking at? ACHL. Which stock is going to be the stock? Right now, just trying to find a hot stock. And it's pretty early, which is why longevity is going to be big today, because we could be seeing momentum all the way up till 12 o'clock and all that. So definitely want to stay afloat, stay alive, just take it easy, be patient. And then when the real momentum comes, TBIO. RZLV is halted down, and maybe it's still, kind of in play, but GLMD, wow, good recovery there. Which one is going to be the one? High of 1020. Definitely can come down this stock. Okay. GLMD kind of having a little bit of trouble, but going through 20. The stock should have a lot of short sellers, so as it's bouncing, we should see some covering at least a little bit. Maybe that propels the move, but yesterday's high is at 1120, so it definitely still has some ways to go. Man, I'm disappointed in how some of these stocks did not hold up the first move. That was a good dip. I'm actually not looking at it, so that's not good. But GLMD, not bad. It moves fast too. I looked away for a couple seconds. DTSS. So, oh, I'm late. Crap. So hard to get a good entry here. Missing that dip. Well, the halt up is at 18. If it gets locked in, that could be good. Oh, that's a little unfortunate. 39 for the halt up. It is definitely extended now at this point. There it is. Can we get locked in? We're not really seeing a lot of bidders here, though.
GLMD.
ACHL, RFZ, LV, TBIO. A little part of me, honestly, is thinking that there's no way momentum is going to come on that stock. So I didn't give it the full respect it deserved. There's probably a cheaper stock moving here too. Something sub $1. CUR in the bottom of the 7 Cs, TBIO. You know, we'll see. Again, it's still early, so we'll see. GLMD, I'm thinking to take it easy. Right now, I'm flat on the day, so I'm going to just take it easy, not use too much size, not be too aggressive here. That dip that it gave was amazing. We had 60 and then it dipped down to like 20 or something. When I look back, because I looked at ZEO, when I look back it's at like 40 or 30, 38, 40. So it's like, yeah. So that was good if anybody caught that. Back to high of day, perhaps for exit. But if you're really looking to hold longer, you could have caught the bigger move there. And how did DTSS finish up? Saw that one earlier. Oh, not much volume. So pre-market high, I'm just going to map out a few levels here quickly before the resumption. Was that 53 and 54 seconds. So we got $11 pre-market high. Yesterday's high was 11.12. Other than that, we had the candlestick that went to $23 a few days ago. In terms of what else is in proximity. $53.54. We got about a minute and some change. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're a new viewer. We go live every weekday morning around 9:15 a.m. We trade live for about an hour or two every day. We are in an account over PDT, meaning over 25K. We trade unrestrictedly utilizing this Charles Schwab platform. And I'm hyper scalping, so how I trade might look very different from how some people trade, which is like holding for 5, 10, 15 minutes. I'm in and out in 5, 10, 15 seconds, sometimes 2, 3 seconds trades. Other times I might hold for like 30 seconds or a minute, depending on how good the entry is. But usually I'm in and out very quickly. So right here I'm watching this resumption, and there's something very specific that I'm looking for. Can I see a dip and rip entry here? Can I see a dip and rip entry? We got about 10 seconds on my side. We're at 11:55. What is it going to be?
GLMD.
Not bad, but not great either. 85 for highs. Oh, it's coming down. Son of a gun. Okay, that's good for small size. Not bad. The low is 1070. So we dipped above the pre-market high and yesterday's high, but we're coming down lower. So that might have been the actual bottom. $29 was a fair fill there too. High of the current candle, 85. How are we going to do over 50? Can we get a quick dip here for the continued push? Nope, it's going to go all the way. The next halt opposite 77. Not quite for over 30 there. Bit of a churn. This one is a little slippery. 1308 for the halt up. There it is. We should get locked in. There's a decent sized bid. Oh, shares getting filled. I don't know. I would have needed to capture that bigger dip. I mean, that's the only thing I could see here. It got a little tricky from there. I did take break of 40, but in a little higher at 50. The move not immediate. Cut that trade flat. That did result into this move here though. But it was a breakout trade. It's trying to get halted up here. A little too much hesitation there for me on that dip. That was the second time at 50. Is the third time going to be the charm? No, it's not. Good Jesus Lord. And I gave in to temptation there too. The third time, brother. The low there, 25. Alright, I'm going to size down. Time to size down. 300 shares. Gotta cap this loss quickly. The 5-minute candle has 2 minutes. It's holding up fairly well, all things considered, despite the pullback. Low, 73. Low, 73. Time, about the minute and 20 seconds to the new candle. A little tricky to get back in there. Bro, I can't believe I gave in to the temptation of buying that dip the third time. The third time, I mean, sometimes it works, but it's a little too risky. First, second time better. Too soon, perhaps. Waiting. Oh, it's a pretty bad fill there. It's gonna give back the entire move. Not too bad, but definitely didn't really get to capitalize. And a little slippery on the way up. It's like there might have been from what I saw like a good 3 key trades, and if you fumble those 3 key trades, then you might be in the depths. It's pulling back again. The 5-minute chart still holding up a little bit. Seems like this is also the only one as of right now that's moving. Can I see the 1-minute candle make the new high? I'm only interested at this point in the breakdown and reclaim. Can we see it? We will not. Switching over to ZEO. And that was the third time again right there, by the way. That's the only trade I should look for on the third time. But if the third time holds, it resets like, and the dips can work again. But at least from my experience, other people might see it differently. The only trade is like if it breaks down and then it holds for the reclaim trade. But if the reclaim doesn't come instantly, then Titanic. ZEO. Watching ZEO. It's moving a little weird in the level 2, but you know, I think we can work with this one. It can definitely move fast. Oh, I'm early. I'll take the loss. That was close. Aggressive fills. Why did I take that high, man? Actually, that was decent though. I mean, I knew what the low was, and I'm like, okay, I'll take it high. It looks like it might be holding. The moment I take it high, it's in the depths. Are we coming down? Might be failing here. We're back below the VWAP. Well, GLMD is not done. It's back up. Smokes. The halt up's at 93. GLMD back up. We haven't really had a pullback. Well, two baby pullbacks. Low 43. The range on this stock has been so big, man. So when it does bottom out, it's like we're not really revisiting the lows too many times. Only once or twice in an area or two, but like this right here is just slow grind uptrend here, which is hard to get a good entry. You know, it's at high of day. Will we continue to slow grind, or can we teleport up a little bit here? And it makes the dips here, the small dips, tricky because it's so high up versus the lows of like 1120. So even if we get like, let's say 1280, the dips might be hard to trust. I think I'm going to stay on the sidelines for now. There's a bigger dip there. I don't know. The stock was decent. It was decent, but I honestly don't think it provided a lot of entries. EBIO, XCUR, ZEO. So for the 1 minute hold time, perhaps 12 to 1250 here. $13.50 was the highs. Spread's massive in this dip. Even with the small size, gonna get the higher fill. Well, thank God for 200 shares there. So it's another colossal pullback. Well, if I had size, I would have been in the depths right there. But sizing down to 200, but a scratch trade. Bigger drop to 6, what was that, about 70? 1270, but dropping again to 1170. So perhaps short sellers in control after rejection of the high. I don't know, man. I can't get a good read on this thing. GLMD. Cannot get a good read. In, and I got filled on the ask. In at 13, out at 1186. Beautiful. Absolutely splendid. gosh. LUNR. I think it's time to wait for the late morning momentum. LUNR, LUNR. Longevity. We're at $700. Not good. But very manageable if we see something else come along. So I think it's time to sit back, relax, and wait for late morning action and maybe afternoon action. So as mentioned in the open, right, even though we had some big percentage movers, I mean, really and truly, none of them kind of did anything. All of that was just, all of that flexing in percentage gains was for pre-market traders. GLMD maybe gave the biggest move out of all the stocks that are up like 100, 200%. XCUR, for example, just bear flag and sold off. Or bear flagging right now and sold off earlier. ZEO, this one did give a front side. And then sold off. The dips, no good. But even that trade just now, I think, it just goes to show again, I'm a little inconsistent in that area there. I saw that I had the high fill. There was a spread of like, I think 75 by like 95. I might as well have just sold in the spreads or sold on the ask at least. But trying to give that a chance to bounce is just, if the dip is at 60 and I'm in at 13, it's like there was no dip basically. So it's like it's essentially just buying the stock high and hoping it goes higher in an area where you're looking for a pullback. It's just, the trade is just ruined, skewed. So the right thing to do there is just cut that trade. ZEO trying again through a key level of 20. This one also has a small spread at times. It can move, but it's definitely a little tricky as well. We haven't really seen smooth stocks these days, right? A lot of level 2 kind of all over the place here. Great fill. For once. Oh, I didn't expect a squeeze there. 91 for the halt up. 91. There it is. I couldn't have caught that. I didn't hold that trade that long, but couldn't have caught that one. But if you're aggressive in that area, yeah. Oh, well, failing. Lovely. The high of day dips just not even once gonna work over these last 3 days. We had resistance 60s, 50s. Can we hold up the previous resistance? It's just gonna colossally Titanic. That trade is such a great trade when it works. I mean, I don't know why it's not working at all. That high of day dip just not holding up. From 90, we dipped down 60, 50. Can we see the retest of 70, 80? Lucky to be able to cut that at least for a small loss, because a moment later would have been in the depths. And from 05, it's back at 50, right? I mean, what's going on here? Stocks are playing games with us. Stocks are playing games. Forgot to edit the editor role. That's why Kitty's able to post. We're doing away with the GIFs for now. No trader left behind, right? There we go. Waiting for the next stock that comes along. Waiting for the next stock that comes along. HK, I'm checking out the YouTube chat. HK saying didn't trade for a couple months. Brother, what's going on with the momentum, man? Here I am, red 500 bucks. GLMD, yesterday I reviewed. I did hesitate in two areas on this thing, but I think it started pretty early for me, not giving it the respect. I just, with all the other stocks being up so much and, I'm waiting for the stock of the day, I just didn't think this one would have done anything. I'm like, we're still far away from yesterday's high, which at that time was 11.20, or I don't know, we're at like 10.20. Yesterday's high was at $11. I'm like, yeah, whatever. This thing, maybe it pops up a little bit like this, and then I'm thinking it's gonna just drop. And then in that key area, looking away over to ZEO, which I think was selling off at the time, and missing that key dip, and from there, I mean, kind of just on my heels. That was like 1060 drop down 1020, from 1020 all the way to like 1150 basically without a pullback. The resumption was a little tricky. That was at 950 area. I'm ready for that stock to fall off a cliff, secondary offering style. Let something fresh take over. XCUR, is it worth keeping an eye on? Maybe. This one's off of a bit of a bear flag, but the volume's still on the lighter side. think the late morning momentum is the way to go now. So, there's more than likely going to be two more stocks throughout the day that comes randomly. Maybe 3 p.m., maybe 1 p.m., whatever. That gives a solid move. But the key is to be present for them. And, what's kind of been happening to me is like doing other things. And then, sometimes you miss the first half of it. Yesterday, I was able to make 1200 on VOSS. I gave back half, but I missed the entire first move. But again, stuff like that. If you're there for the entire move, you're in such a better rhythm. And those inclines were crazy. That thing just kept going. So even with smaller size, um, I even got back green. Right, I got back green yesterday before giving back that half, and I got aggressive at the highs because it was showing like it wanted to go. I mean, everything was looking right, the volume right for the continued move again. And I got caught twice with bigger size trying to buy the high of day. Gave back half the gains. ZEO. Again, stocks looking like they're failing, but then, miraculously curling back up. Usually this would have sold off all the way to the depths by now. Definitely not the usual. If there's one thing we can say with absolute certainty is that trading is not easy. Gosh. Miserable fill there, so I'm going to cut that. SGN, is that a cheaper stock? SGN, take a look. I haven't really been looking at anything below $1. Good bounce for CEO. Definitely would have had to wait a little bit though for to get the resolution, but this could end up being a stock that becomes strong and maybe gets up to $5-6. It's possible. So it's still in the early stages if that's going to be the case. Look at the miserable fill I'm going to get right there. I gotta really stop saying anything about fills. I'm gonna try to be as fast as I can here for these trades. As fast as humanly possible. Seven. Come on, man. Aw. Terrible fill there. That's ridiculous. Sometimes you do expect that quick burst of volume. I also gotta try to sell yes. You expect that quick burst of volume, but waiting for one more tick down and not read it. This one I can work with this one though. This I think this is pretty decent so far. CEO. No, we need lower here. I gotta be careful of getting higher fills trying to re-average lower. Makes no sense trying to re-average and then getting filled too high, so Oh, damn it. I tried to take 40 there, but it's back at 52 in like the blink of an eye. That's better. Didn't want to see below 35. It's coming below 35. VWAP though is 32. So I'm a little high on that dip. Fair trade. Fair trade. The entry is there if you're anticipating the dip that low. It's not bad. I mean, it's the VWAP balance essentially. We haven't really come down to that level in some time, but it's a good bounce. The candle's about to close. So will we see something into this new candle? The orders are lagging. Gotta be careful with floating orders. Day trading, day trading, day trading, I tell you. XCUR might be worth watching here. See it in the side of my eyes, getting active. Maybe I leave this trade alone and see what's going on over there. Let's see, XCUR. The halt up would be at 561 if it really like gets over the whole dollar and does well. Yeah, I haven't really been super interested in the penny stocks recently. I'm hoping ZEO is able to curl up eventually, but it's kind of seeing trouble up here at 60. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. Just waiting patiently here for some late morning momentum. Uh-oh. Come on, ZEO. Now or never. 70, 70. Can we see 70 here? Struggling. Still here, but definitely fighting for its life. Trying a few breakout trades there. All right. I wonder if it'll teleport. Skip. Breakouts doesn't make any sense at this point. Reverting from breakouts. Yeah, we should still hold. It's gonna be my last attempt. If not, then the depths. 40. Oh, it's rejecting. Well, it was worth a shot. coming down. Coming down. Coming down. Right now we're just flirting with like a break-even day, which is not good. We would have already loved to be nicely green, waiting for the afternoon momentum to add more. Okay. All right. Smokes. This one seems a little extended here. Halt ups at 30. GSIW. Halt 6 is at 62. I would like to see the halt up. If not, waiting on the pullback. A real pullback. I was expecting more of a drop here. 11. It's not bad. Maybe I just exit. Sometimes I'm giving this like third of a position a chance, but maybe I just exit the entire thing up here because We're still seeing resistance. Come on. Green 150 twice. Back to flat. Now we're at 80 bucks. Perhaps no bounce. Ay, ay, ay. The markets, the markets, the markets. And my 89 dip is going to work, but I sold it too soon. I'd like to see something from like scratch, like a fresh stock hitting scans. Big volume disparity going up versus coming down. Similar to yesterday, didn't see this one up until just now. There's so much stocks in play that it's always tricky to see everything early. Oh, there's a seller coming in. Come on, get that garbage out of here. SI, SMSI, SMSI, SMSI. The volume doesn't seem to be increasing here though. SMSI. Volume just seems a little sideways. If we don't see anything in the next couple of minutes, I think I'm going to shut it down and just wait. Shutting it down. Like, what's this guy's name? Like Parker Schnovel in the Klondike. For those of you who watch that show. Shutting down the wash plant. The sluice box is empty. Yeah, I'm gonna shut it down. Red like $300, I think. All 450. I'm gonna shut it down, keep it tight, wait for something better later. Maybe till power hour we might not see anything. Stocks like this kind of give a move and then like nothing. Time to shut it down. Time to shut it down. Best stock of the day, perhaps GLMD. TBIO did give a move early. What was it? Well, maybe it wasn't this one. Was it? Yeah, just gave a small move. Definitely a lot of different tickers today. But shutting it down, coming back later. Can't believe the momentum is so slippery. These crazy fills with Schwab doesn't help, but a lot of the stocks early didn't give any sort of follow through for the like second leg. They all kind of just came down. One move up and then like wash out low of day kind of thing. But with that being said, hit that thumbs up. Remember, if you're going to go the distance, if you're going to go all the way till 4 p.m. non-stop, continue to be disciplined, continue to be patient, keep looking for those opportunities that you know and love. Check out those links down below for the chat room, for Momo Pro, the scanning software here, and the classes, right, for those of you who are interested in perhaps learning this hyper scalping style. If you're looking to get into it, we definitely have our full curriculum there on display, going from 0 to advanced, even covering beginner topics, right, to everything that we know to this level. So as mentioned earlier in the stream, you know, we're in a live account over PDT, and this is what we do every day. The red days still happen from time to time, but we know what it is. Part of the deal. Small red days is the way to go if you're going to ever be red. The key is to not have blow-up losses. Blow-up losses is, you know, not good. What's it, advance? What am I looking for here? Win-loss versus days. There we go. So far, we can do year-to-date here. Year-to-date. Let's see, year-to-date, year-to-date. So far, here's the year-to-date stats. So you know the strategy is pretty profitable. Days like today, though, is just a little frustrating. Even yesterday, days like today and yesterday. What I like to think to myself is that if there's any opportunity, I should be green regardless of anything. Now the day is not over yet, so you know the mission goes on, but we'll see how we finish up here by time 4 p.m. So I'll be posting my P&L in the chat room later today. I'll be posting my P&L. So yeah, here's the total winning days, total losing days so far this year. And for the other guys, the other mentors, Marcelo, Triad, Tim, these guys sometimes even have even higher accuracy, right? So For me, I'm green every seven out of 10 days essentially. I think Marcelo is 8.5 times, like 85% of the times. Tim, I think might even be like even higher, 90. Triad also around like 80. So the boys are getting it done. But you can't argue with these metrics here, right? I mean, there's a clear discrepancy in the right direction. $47,000 in losses versus hundreds of thousands of dollars in gains, right? That's how it needs to be. That's how it needs to be. You come over here to the detailed section. It's all here. No tricks, no gimmicks every day. Now, what I will say is that I will trade after the live stream. Like, I'm here all day doing other work and stuff. So, if a stock moves up at 1 p.m. and I see it in the corner of my eye hitting the scan or something, and I boom start trading it,
I see.
a lot of days there's no time to start up a live stream, go live in the chat room. It's just at the end of the day, I'll post the P&L, or I'll do the. I mean, I usually, to be honest, I used to do a recap every day. Now I don't do the recaps every day anymore because I've done it thousands of times at this point. Some days it's just a little hard for me to do it because it needs to be eventful. The day needs to be somewhat eventful, and there needs to be some sort of big P&L, either red or green. It doesn't matter even if it's red. I'll do a recap on those days too. But like for a day like this, as of right now, it's kind of hard for me to do a recap for a day like today. It's just a bit of a choppier day, slower stuff. There was some opportunity. GLMD, ZEO came as well. GSIW, I missed most of it. I mean, it looked like it was a good move. There was a halt resumption, but kind of didn't really see much of it. So now we need to ban. Now we need to ban reactions too. Jeez Louise. See, but we ask ourselves if those white flags flooding the entire chat right there, if that's necessary. That's why these things are getting taken away, because of stuff like that. Because of nonsense. No matter how you twist it and turn it, you cannot tell me that that's not nonsense, right? Don't worry, the pastor will be the firm hands for us here in the chat. The firm hands. And it'll be time to start banning people. Big Steve. Big Steve used to rule the chat room with an iron fist once upon a time ago. Big Steve is now more slack. Big Steve is more slack. And letting the rules be forgotten about. That's the key thing with the chat though, like side conversations, like I understand sometimes it's slow, but if we really go back and read some of this stuff, I mean sometimes that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm seeing. It's like you go back and you read some of this stuff and it's like, brother, this could have been said in the DMs, right? There's certain debates that it's like nothing to do with trading. Sometimes it's not even a tricky conversation per se, but it's just off topic from what the chat room is. But yeah, time to shut her down. I was making some Gold Rush references. Used to love that show. Got a couple of family members that does that kind of work. The last season of Gold Rush I watched, the guy Todd, I forget his last name, but Todd and his crew was still on. I think by now they kind of disbanded and maybe doing other things. I don't know. But Parker, man, Parker getting it done big time. So I'll catch you guys later. I'll be in the chat room. If anybody ever wants to ask anything, I'll be in the chat. I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe. Stay green. Pastor signing out.